Good morning. It is Tuesday, October 29th. I know you already know that. I say that for myself. I can't believe how time flies. My name is Bev. This is the Bev D Show. Little morning segments I've been doing. Send out a message to the universe. As always, I want to thank my new listeners, followers, people who message me, email me. Thank you so much. I always say at the end of the show, if you're feeling lonely out there and you don't feel loved, that I do, well, sometimes when you do this show, you just wonder what's going on out there, who's listening. But I always said, I think I've been doing this over a year. I feel like October 18th might have been my first show. And I started out doing this for one. And the one started in my heart. And then the next one is if I can help one, inspire one, touch a heart, become relatable. That's why I do this. I finally was able to do it. And that whole thing came from an 80s movie called City Slickers. And there's a pretty cool scene where he holds up one finger, meaning that, to make a difference for one. And it could be that little calf. It could be a person. That was a pretty good show. I need a good dose of City Slickers. That's a great show. But just like that, even though he wanted to help one, he needed help to do it. And I wouldn't have this show at this time in my life. I'm not saying I wouldn't have figured it out, but it sure sped things up when I met Tim. And he has been my friend and soulmate. I've known him for over a year, and he's a great partner. We're doing a lot of things with the house, a lot of redecorating, creating the dream that I always wanted, and I could not have done alone, flat out. I just know it because of time, because of who I am, and because I'm not quite as talented as I have learned that he certainly is. So thank you to Tim. Today I was thinking about something I heard yesterday. We got some folks in from out of town, and one of the guys from Florida, his name is Dane. He is filled top to bottom with all kinds of energy, and he stepped out of the room for a little bit. We are in advertising sales. He stepped out of the room for a little bit, and it was an advertiser that was calling him, a potential advertiser, and he came back in and he says, told me to call back after the holidays. So I wanted to send out on October 29th a quick little message to my friends whom I work with or who might be in this type of selling. When I worked for a company, it was a Xerox, a branch of Xerox, and my job was to schedule appointments for the outside reps in the field. And if I had the old saying, $1 for every time somebody said, let's wait till after the holidays, I would be wealthy, and I would just continue to call people so that they would tell me after the holidays, and I would get $1 every time. It was there that I really figured out how to overcome or get around this objection, and it didn't work every time. And that's the thing about objections, they're beginnings of stories. They put you in a learning and sharing environment. And I always caution when I'm training people, don't tell after an objection, ask. So people, they're out there, they don't want to spend money on advertising. They don't know if it's going to work or not. They don't want to take the chance. They're not interested. They don't have the time, the money. There's once in a while people are like, okay, now it's time, let's do this. But for the most part, we get told no for a living, and no, not right now, and no, I don't have the money, and it goes on in various ways. Much like it's not in our budget, so is the objection of, especially now, let's take care of this after the holidays. But I would ask a favor of you to give this a try. A lot of people, when they hear an objection, they no matter how seasoned they are of a professional, they want to run from it and they want to find a way to move on and hang up and just call that person back in the future. But the way that you're going to create a sense of urgency or an act now mentality is to simply say, well, why wait? Go ahead, have the courage to ask them, why wait? Then they're going to say something like, oh, it's so busy. We've got all these projects we want to finish up by the end of the year. We've got people in and out because of vacation. What one of those things has anything to do with getting an ad started when we can create it for them and we do all the work? All we need them to do is say, yeah, I believe in my business. This is a very busy buying time of year. It's a perfect time to get my name out there in front of all the others who are out there. And so it's up to us, if you're going to call yourself a sales executive, that word executive means that you have some history behind you, some experience, a skill set. And the skill set that I want to instill in you is a no fear attitude. And the no fear attitude simply comes from asking the questions that you are afraid to hear the answer to most. Ask the question you are afraid to hear the answer, or you're afraid you're going to lose the sale because you're asking a question. Look, we're in the business of learning. We're in the business of sharing information. So why would you shortcut yourself about not wanting to learn one more bit of information from that potential client? So it's up to us to tell them what a wonderful thing this is. This isn't a lie. I'm not making this up. I'm not trying to deceive you, Mr. Potential Advertiser or businessman. And you can incorporate this into any type of business that you're trying to close the deal before the holidays, before the first of the year, and not after. Now, there are some situations where it's cool because that builds your pipeline for the next year. However, if you had somebody who was ready to do it and then said, you know what, we've decided we're going to wait. Why? What was that decision? Why did you decide that? Because it is the perfect time of year to get your name out there and to get back in the competition. Don't just assume that this little bit of money that I may be asking you to invest in your business, that by lying and waiting or doing what you've been doing for 10 months is going to work. This is an opportunity to gain more because that's what we are in the business of. So you're going to hear that, and you may find yourself in a situation where maybe you have a project you wanted to do, certainly wait if we want to work out, if we want to change our bodies. I'll wait till after the holidays because I know I'm going to be eating and enjoying. Why not eat, enjoy, and do 20 jumping jacks or 50 push-ups? So don't put exercise or, you can start eating healthy and do the right thing for your body. And in addition to that, have cookies and pie and turkey and bread and all the things that come with that. In between those, Christmas is not the next 60 days. It's a season of about 2 or 3 weeks. So we need to caution ourselves, as with our potential clients, why wouldn't I start that now? Why not give that a go? And then if you do it for 10 days and you fail, at least you did it 10 days. And this morning, again, I wasn't in the mood to exercise. I wasn't feeling that well. But I thought about you guys. And I thought, I have to live what I'm saying. And so I did them. And I, just like I told you yesterday, feel great because I did it. Do I see immediate results? No, but it's mental. It's in my brain. It's got all sorts of good stuff going on in there to get my day started. So I will leave you with, at least do this for yourself, that if somebody's trying to put you off for the holidays, if you're trying to put yourself off for the holidays, ask yourself, why wait? And I'll leave you with one sweet little thing. I'm such a fan. I always was a fan. I had 3 daughters, and we read these books cover to cover, whether we wanted to or not. But the wise Winnie the Pooh says, just remember, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. And I believe that we become really wise when we ask questions, because it's almost like you're in a lifetime of education. So don't be afraid to ask the question. Don't be afraid to ask yourself, above all. I mean, if you're asking an advertiser to do something, or a customer to sign a contract, or trying to sell a car, and you're trying to get that happening, don't be afraid to ask yourself the questions, okay? All right, courage. It's not because we do not have fear. It's when we have fear and we do it anyways. I want you guys to have a great day. If your Monday was bad, this is reset, restart. And if you're feeling lonely and not loved out there, I love you. Have a great day. Thanks again for listening. Bye.